you're gonna need sandpaper for the walls, a box cutter, you're gonna need a sharp edge, and wallpaper, of course. All right, now that we have our clean wall, we're gonna start with the wallpaper. Now this is pre-adhesive wallpaper, so it has a sticky back, which makes it easier to apply. You can also move it around a couple of times if you notice that it's not straight, and makes it easier to do that. So what we're gonna start with is around the door. We already have a straight line with the door, and I figure if I can just start from there and go over to the left, I can fill that in, figure out how I'm gonna do that situation in a bit. But the way to do this is you peel off just a little bit from the top all the way across. You stick it up to the edge of the ceiling and the wall. And as you roll down the wall, you start to peel off the back. And it gives you a chance to kind of rub out any bubbles as you go along. So let's see how this goes. All right, so what I did first is I just lined up the top of the wallpaper to the wall and making sure that I got to the very corner of the door. And as you see, what I did was I pulled the backing off like I talked about earlier. So as you go along, you just want to rub out any of the bubbles. And then as you go along from the top to the bottom, just slowly peel back the backing of the wallpaper and just keep rubbing down as you go to get any bubbles out. So you want to go down and out. So just keep pulling the backing off. And also how I started from here was I took the very edge. Once I lined it up, I just let the whole roll fall to the floor. So I haven't cut it yet. So once you get all the way down, we're gonna then take our straight edge and the box cutter and then cut right along the baseboard, which is that white thing that touches the floor. If you don't have a baseboard in your house, you can still just cut along whatever the very edge of the wallpaper and where the floor meets. Or if you are replacing your baseboards, I suggest putting the wallpaper up first and then putting your baseboards behind it, just so you have a nice, snug, clean fit. So just make sure you're also rubbing around the edges. When you have a door like mine, make sure you rub on the edges because any moisture can get in here and you don't want this to bubble. It's very important. I'll share the link for this wallpaper in the bio, most likely. Or if you're looking at this on the blog, it should be listed just below this video. All right, so before I start the next strip, I just wanted to hop back on here and go over something. So anytime you're gonna do wallpaper with a design, any design really, you kind of want to make sure that the design lines up. And as you may see, hopefully you can see in the video, this kind of stops at a V at the top. But you'll see here, if I just put it back on the wall like that, it's not gonna line up. So what you're gonna do is you're going to roll the wallpaper up just a little bit until the design matches up. Once you get it on the wall, you can then use the straight edge to cut off the extra portion. But that's how you line up your design. It will be a little bit of a waste, but at least when you look at your wall, you will be like, what the heck did I just, so we'll see how this goes. All right, so I just want to get you guys a close-up of what I did. So to get the pattern to line up, I left a little bit overlap on the top. I'm going to cut that off with the box cutter. But you'll see I got the design pretty lined up. Now you don't notice that much, of course, at the top, but when people are at eye level, you're like, oh my gosh, is it matching? So I will be honest, this first one, still a little off, but not too much. Another tip or trick, if you're using anything with a black design, you can take a Sharpie and just doop and close up those little gaps. Can you guys see that? Let me zoom in or zoom out. There we go. And this is why you definitely want to make sure you use the sandpaper to get all the little bumps out so you don't see that. Again, it's not that noticeable, but just want to point it out in case you're looking for perfection. I think it looks pretty good.